According to you, what makes the listening test difficult? Is it the pace, paraphrasing, or distractors, or specific question type? And please try to answer this one exactly as it is, exactly as you feel. All right, great. Now, I really appreciated all the feedbacks that you are giving in. So specific question type, see, I mean, that's the exact thing we should be doing, identifying that where do you make mistakes. Now, I really appreciated that you answered this one. Now, if you have a look, you would see specific question type. That's where you are making mistakes. Now, we have identified 3 things so far. That have you taken the full test, your average score, and where would you make mistakes? Now, the next thing. Now, let's have a look. Okay, this is very important, and please answer it honestly, as it is. If you do, please answer it yes. If you do not do, please answer no. But let's be very, very clear. So that would be follow up your listening test mistakes would be that checking why you made that mistake. So what happens in that situation that if you do not follow up your mistakes, suppose you attempted one test, then you got 25 correct answers, then you think that, okay, I made few mistakes, I would attempt the next one, and I hope it would be better. But if we have a look at this one, that 70% students would do the follow-up, but not everyone does. Everyone should be following up their mistakes. It's very, very important. Do not take this aspect lightly. In the listening and reading, one should always follow up mistakes. It's not about that I have completed 16, 17 books, each one of them. I have completed Barron's books. I have completed the IELTS tutorial test questions as well. But still, I'm stuck at 20 or 25. I don't know what's wrong. Because you are not following up that what went wrong, you are not improving. That's the only reason now. I appreciate that you answered it as it was. So 70%, 71% students would follow up their mistakes, but not everyone does. All right. Now, today's topic is related to listening section map labeling, but I would certainly be giving you tips and strategies for the listening section overall too. Now, let me commence the class, and I would request each one of you to please keep your pen and paper ready as well. So we would be attempting an exercise, not right now, but afterwards. First, let me explain the task, then we would come to it. All right. So there are 4 components in the IELTS test: listening, reading, writing, and speaking. Listening, reading, writing would be in one go or in one session. And the speaking would always be in a different session. There have been few changes recently in the test order. For the paper-based test from 25th June, the test order has been changed for the paper-based test. So now in the paper-based test, you're going to attempt the writing first, then listening. Reading would be the last one. In the computer-delivered test, the test order remains the same, like the old way: listening, reading, writing, and speaking. So this workshop, we're going to focus mainly on the listening section. So it has 4 parts, 40 questions should be there. Each correct answer would give you 1 point. There is no negative marking. So make sure that you attempt each and every question. Never leave any blank space. Duration of your listening test is approximately 30 minutes. It can be 29 or 31 minutes or so. Now, objective, why are you given listening test? So the IELTS listening test checks your ability to understand spoken English. It assesses how good you are at understanding key ideas and precise factual information, identifying the tone and emotion, opinion. So these are the objectives that you are given listening test in the IELTS test. Now, a quick recap of how the listening test is. So duration, it would be 30 minutes, approximately 30 minutes. 40 questions should be there. Each correct answer would give you 1 point. There is no negative marking. According to your correct answers, you'd be assigned a band score. So the audios are played only once. You do not have any control over the audios. These are automated. So you are always given some time to read your questions as well. In that given time, make sure that you are reading your questions. There's a reason for giving that time. Now, so there are 40 questions. So if you are aiming for band 9, then you need to have 39 to 40 correct answers. Academic or student visa or general training students, they take the same test, no difference in between. So if you are aiming for band 8, then you need to have 35 to 36 correct answers. And if your requirement is band 6, then you need 23 to 25 correct answers. And the list goes on. Now, today we are specifically going to talk about listening module. You would see that certain things help you to ace your listening test. Some things do not help you. How you could achieve a higher band score in the listening section, particularly throughout upcoming these workshops and webinars, we're going to focus on each and every section. So this would not help you if you are just testing yourself. Suppose I would hear it all the time that I have completed all books, Cambridge books. I have practiced lots of practice material from websites as well, really good websites, but still I'm stuck. And the reason for that is you are only testing yourself. You would move from one test to another, but you are not doing the follow-up. In the listening and reading, you would never improve if you are just testing yourself. If you think that because in the listening section, I would hear all the people talking, so I would watch only the movies and web series and I'd be fine, this wouldn't work. Then the tutor alone, if you are taking coaching somewhere, maybe offline or online, just the tutor cannot give you a magic pill that do this and it would be perfectly fine. It's a collective effort. So it's like shoulder to shoulder and it's a hand in hand. So one has to work with the tutor in sync, only then things are going to work. Then tips and strategies are very, very important in the listening section and in the reading. I would say in all 4 sections, you need to have a strategy. Then whatever tips and strategies are given to you that you should be doing this, these would be like to the point. These would not be like you are given 50 things, do's and don't do's. They would be like precision-based tips and strategies. And these are always effective. One should be implementing those. If you are not going to follow, definitely you are going to lag behind. Now, what helps then? Now, we learned that what doesn't help. Now, what is going to help a learner to achieve a good band score? So the first thing you should be doing that get some real practice test questions. You need to know, like exactly the first question that I asked, have you undertaken one full test or not? So the first thing you should be doing that get some real practice tests. After that, do 2 to 3 tests under exam conditions, whether it's reading or listening. Do not do like I would attempt like one part in one go, then maybe after a week or so, get yourself free, leave everything aside. Listening test would take only 30 minutes. Reading one would take one hour. You need to know where do you stand from the day one. After that, you would note down what are the difficult question types that you always score low. Maybe the reading one, match the headings, multiple choice questions, or in the listening one, multiple choice questions, match list questions. So these would be your weak areas. Now you have taken the full test. You have identified that I make a lot of mistakes in the multiple choice questions. Like one of our team members just shared this, that I always struggle in the multiple choice questions in the listening section. So this way you would identify. And another thing you would do that when you are practicing, that make sure that you honestly correct yourself. The honesty is required. I mean, it's not to impress anyone. I would always say, even when there is a group class, that do not be afraid to make mistakes. Mistakes are one day these are going to be your milestones. But first thing is be 100% honest. So even during the, shortly, we are going to practice a test, or it's going to be 2-minute task only. And I would request each one of you to mark you correctly. So again, we need to see, like everyone is going to appear for the IELTS test individually. If there is no competition, everyone is aiming for a different band score. Maybe you're a working person, your requirement is different from a student who is hoping to get a scholarship, so aiming for a good university or college. So everyone has a different requirement. So I mean, you are not in competition with anyone but yourself. So this is very, very important. And then the next thing you'd be doing, you are going to analyze your mistakes. That what goes wrong. So that the first thing would be that you are going to reattempt the task. If it's the listening one, you are going to reattempt it till you get it all right. Maybe that there are few words which are pronounced differently from yours, and that gives you a low score. So you would note down that, okay, I would pronounce it differently, and I was having a difficulty in understanding this word, and because of this I made a mistake. The second, you can make two kinds of mistakes in the listening section. One would be that you are going to write it incorrectly. The second one would be that you would misheard it, or you are going to miss it. Two kinds of mistakes. So you need to know which kind of mistake you are prone to making. So maybe you making a lot of grammatical, you would misspell it. So like whenever it comes to double S or assessment and any other word that you tend to misspell it. So that's the one kind of error. The second one would be you miss the answer completely. You just didn't get it where the answer was hidden. So that comes that your listening skills are not up to the mark, or you need to work on those. You need to put yourself into different tests so that you can understand different accents, you can understand the pace, you can understand the paraphrased information. So work on your weaknesses. Suppose you are facing difficulty in multiple choice questions, you would attempt a lot of multiple choice questions, because this would give you a bit of practice that when it comes to multiple choice questions, one should never lose track of the question. If you are going to be remain focused on the options, you're going to make mistakes, because one way or the other, the examiner is, or the voiceover is going to talk about all the options. But now what happens in the multiple choice questions that you lost track of your question. Now, which one are you going to pick? Because the speaker or the voiceovers mentioned all the options. So the easiest thing would be that remain focused on the question. Never lose track of it. That's the easy one. And there are a lot other things you can do. Underlining the keywords, okay? How to scan the options, how to keep an eye on the question. So always work on your weaknesses. So first thing, practice tests, put yourself or attempt 2 to 3 tests under exam conditions. Then identify that which question types are difficult for you. Then honestly correct yourself. Then whenever you practice, you are going to analyze your mistakes. You're going to reattempt it till you get it right. Then you would note down that what happens that when it comes to fill in the blanks, I was not paying attention to the words beside those blanks. So the next time, what I'm going to do, I would be reading the words beside so that I can predict my answer. So you would be learning these tips and strategies during our classes. All our tutors, they would pick up the exercises and would be guiding you that, okay, this is going to be the task, and you should be reading the blanks, the words beside the blanks, and you're going to predict your answer. In the given time, you would always read your questions and be aware of distractors. Distractors are always there in the listening and reading. So they would give you the answers. The examiners know that you are seeking an answer. They would give it to you straight away. But the moment, because what happens that once you have your answer, you say bye-bye. You do not hear the rest of the sentence. And there is the key. There is the distractor, because you stop listening to the point that you got your answer. But if you do not pick your answer, if you wait for the whole sentence to get completed, you would notice that the examiner has taken that answer back using but and however. So in the listening and reading section, distractors are very, very common. Examiners would give you the answer and have it taken back using but and however. So be aware of distractors, predict the answers, and scanning and skimming, keeping an eye on the question. So we would pick up exercises like we are going to attempt shortly map labeling one. So we would show how we do it in the classes. All right. So what could be the weaknesses when it comes to listening one? That there'd be two kinds of mistakes. That either you are going to write it completely incorrectly, that you are going to misspell it. That's the one kind of mistake. Another one would be that you didn't get it. You had no idea what the speaker was talking about. So you would work on your listening skills. You need to attempt exercising, and of course you're going to follow up. Then comes to the vocabulary, that it's not going to be formal vocabulary. It's not going to be advanced words, but day-to-day phrases. So that comes to like practicing, and then there are a lot of quality resource material available. You would get an idea that the basic vocabulary is used, but the pace makes the difference and the way distractors are used. So another one can be strategy, that in the given time, you are never reading the questions, but you are never working on the keywords, you are not scanning the options, you would lose track of the questions. So these are the few mistakes one can make. So work on your spellings, note down any difficult words. Then the weaknesses could be specific question types, could be match list questions, multiple choice questions, or diagram questions. You would identify your weaknesses in this way. Now, we are going to come to the task right now. And in the meantime, once again, I would request you, please keep your pen and paper ready. We're going to attempt a very short task, approximately 2 minutes or so. And first, I will tell you that this is what you need to do. And we're going to see, is it going to work for you or not? And honestly, you need to correct yourself. So today's task would be that labeling a map or a diagram. We're going to discuss band 9 vocabulary and distractors, how distractors work. Now, so you'd be given a task like this. Let me put this in present mode for a moment. Okay, so you'd be given a task like this, and there'll be some instructions, questions 15 to 20, then label the map below. So you'd be given a map like this, and questions are there. Write the correct letter A to I next to questions 15 to 20. So the first thing you should be doing is that you need to write the letter. If you write like, okay, this is the place, cafe, or if you write any word, your answer will be marked wrong. Always read your questions carefully and always read your instructions carefully. So if you are not going to abide by those instructions, you are going to lose your points. You were doing everything right, you had the correct answer, but you didn't follow the instructions. Maybe you exceeded the word limit. So read your instructions carefully and follow those strictly. Now, the next thing you'd be doing, that read the questions like how, scarecrow, maze, cafe, black barn, covered picnic area, fitty house. You would read the questions, then you would read all the content that is given to you. Road, footpath, farmyard, main path, fish pool, main path, car park, new barn, okay, road, side path, pool, and like this. Now, whenever you are given a map, the voiceover would start, or the speaker would start shortly. So that would be a starting point. So if you have a look here, you are here, or a star mark is here. So the speaker is going to start from this place. You need to pay a lot of attention in the initial time. If it's a building or if it's a site plan, then it's going to start from the entrance of it. So if it's a factory or maybe a building or maybe a floor plan, so that would be start from the entrance of it. If you are given a park, community park, or maybe as you can see that it's a map, so they are going to start from a place. You should be paying more attention in the beginning, because if you picked up the initial point, then it's like holding someone's hand, turning right or turning left. So always pay more attention in the beginning. Then all the answers or all the questions would be coming in the chronological order. So it's not that the scarecrow would come in the first one, then fitty house would come there. So this information would be coming in the order. So suppose you have gone through the questions, you have gone through all the parts that is given on the map, then the audio starts. From the audio, you are going to glide your pointer as you listen. So you can either use your pointer or your pencil or your marker, whatever you use, or even you can point your finger at the map, that you would be gliding your pointer as you listen. So suppose if the speaker asks you to turn right, in fact, you would be turning right on the map, so that you would be aware of directions. If the speaker asks you, it's the place on the right or on the left, you would instinctively pick that place. So that's the first thing you're going to pay attention. That would be that initial point, that your starting point. Next one would be gliding your pointer as you listen. Then be aware of the distractors. Distractors would always be there. If you are not listening to the whole sentence, answers would be given and then changed. So in this task as well, there is a distractor. It would be there, and you are going to think that, okay, no, it had to be this one. But if you listen carefully, it's not that. That answer isn't the correct one. So in this one, there is a distractor. I'm just making you an alert because we're going to attempt it. It's a short one. Please keep your pen and paper ready. So what you would be doing, you would read the instructions, letter, all the questions quickly, and we have gone through it. If you want, you can go ahead. Then I would play the audio. You are going to mark the places that you need to find. Where is scarecrow situated? Where is maze situated? So it could be either G, or it could be H, or it could be D or C. It could be any, but the speaker would start from here, the star mark, you are here. After that, it would be like turning right or left. So it's a short one, only a minute or 2 minutes task, and you are going to honestly evaluate yourself. We are not trying to impress anyone. Just answer it as best as you can. I'm going to play the audio, and so please go through the quickly questions and the task that is given. We can do it together, like scarecrow, maze, cafe, black barn, covered picnic area, feedie house, main path, car park, road, new barn, side path, main path, fish pool, footpath. Now let's play the audio.
And answer questions 15 to 20.
Now let me give you some idea of the layout of the farm. The building where you bought your tickets is the new barn immediately to your right. And we're now at the beginning of the main path to the farmland. And of course, the car park is on your left. The scarecrow you can see in the car park in the corner beside the main path is a traditional figure for keeping the birds away from crops. But our scarecrow is a permanent sculpture. It's taller than a human being, so you can see it from quite a distance. If you look ahead of you, you'll see a maze. It's opposite the new barn, beside the side path that branches off to the right, just over there. The maze is made out of hedges which are too tall for young children to see over them, but it's quite small, so you can't get lost in it. Now, can you see the bridge crossing the fish pool further up the main path? If you want to go to the cafe, go towards the bridge and turn right just before it. Walk along the side path and the cafe's on the first bend you come to. The building was originally the schoolhouse, and it's well over 100 years old. As you may know, we run skills workshops here, where you can learn traditional crafts like woodwork and basket making. You can see examples of the work and talk to someone about the courses in the Black Barn. If you take the side path to the right, here, just by the new barn, you'll come to the Black Barn, just where the path first bends. Now, I mustn't forget to tell you about picnicking, as I can see some of you have brought your lunch with you. You can picnic in the field, though do clear up behind you, of course. Or if you'd prefer a covered picnic area, there's one near the farmyard, just after you cross the bridge. There's a covered picnic spot on the right. And the last thing to mention is Feedie House itself. From here you can cross the bridge, then walk along the footpath through the field to the left of the farmyard. That goes to the house, and it'll give you a lovely view of it. It's certainly worth a few photographs, but as it's a private home, I'm afraid you can't go inside. Right, well, if you're all ready, we'll set off on our tour of the farm.
Thank you, everyone.
That is the end of section 2.
Appreciate it. Now, we're going to check the answers, and you would be checking it and marking you honestly.
And answer question.
Okay, let's have a look and mark yourself, give yourself how many you got right out of this one. So out of 6, how many you got right? Mark yourself. Honestly, it's very, very important. It's not to impress anyone. You need to know where do you stand if you are given a task. Now, 2 of you have raised the hand just a moment. Okay, Jaya, yes, I would request please unmute yourself. Okay. Okay, Himani, could you please unmute yourself? Okay, I noticed 2 hand raised, and now, okay, I think you may have your answers there. Okay, so the next thing you'd be doing, suppose, I mean, we are just, this is a hypothetical answer that maybe you didn't get 2 right. So what things you need to be careful? So this would be like your band 9 vocabulary. Whenever it comes to map, these words are spoken like throughout any map labeling question. You need to know the meaning of each and every word here. What would be the meaning of carry straight on, adjoining, alongside would be right beside it, leads off. I'm sure you heard this word here as well. Something that starts off or branches off, or dead end, a road that doesn't lead anywhere, across the road, junction where 2 roads meet, or pass through, continue going, or the directions like go straight or slightly west off or right, left. These vocabulary words are frequently used. You should know the meaning of each and every word. So this is very, very important. If you didn't know the meaning of that, something that leads off, you are going to struggle. Something that branches off, something that starts off. So this band 9 vocabulary, I would say that find out the meaning of it in your own time if you can, but this is frequently used. Now, coming to the present task, you make 2 mistakes. So how you are going to attempt this would be like you would reattempt it till you get it right. Now, if I read it, maybe you got the this right, this covered picnic area. Maybe the 19th one you didn't get right. Now, if we have a look here, how it starts. So I have just highlighted the band 9 vocabulary, like right, beside, left, turn right, just before it. So if you were not aware what is the meaning of just before it, and the side part that was just given there, band, I mean, if you were confused that which band is it, or like what is the meaning of band, I mean, we need to be honest. I mean, most of you would know, but in case you are not aware of this vocabulary, the first thing you are going to do is just note down these difficult words or these like map labeling vocabulary. What would be the meaning of just after, or along, or beside, or something that branches off? So these words are frequently used. You should know the meaning of it. Now, distractors are always there. Now, maybe you missed the covered picnic area. So I would read out this part, or if you would prefer a covered picnic area, there is one near the farmyard. Just after you cross the bridge, there is a covered picnic spot on the right. So maybe you're thinking about this covered picnic area, but there was a distractor that what it seems to you that it's going to be this covered area. I can see that it had to be this one, but just after you cross the fishbowl, it's on the right. So distractors would always be there. So that's how we analyze in the class as well. We would pick up a task, we would go in depth that how to answer this question. So the first thing would be reading your instructions, understanding the layout of the map, and going to pay more attention in the initial stage. If you picked up the initial point, then it's easy. It's like holding someone's hand. After that, you are going to glide your pointer as you listen. And of course, you need to be aware of band 9 vocabulary. So this is how we would pick up each and every task. So our classes, I'm really proud of it, because at IELTS tutorials, we believe in that you should achieve your desired score in the very first attempt. I mean, if you are going to make a payment, IELTS or IDP would give you a date. There is no big thing about it, but the main thing is to achieve your desired score in the first attempt. And that comes when you have a thorough knowledge of each and every task and strategies. What could be the difficulties? So our tutors would think from your perspective beforehand that what difficulties you may face. And then, of course, you never feel like this is a typical classroom where the tutor is expecting you to remain on mute. And whenever you raise your hand, it's like the teacher or the tutor isn't happy. All your queries, it's very, very informal, I would say, like our family, I would say. So that's why we have the affiliations of the students and the feedbacks that you would see in the group, that everyone would write paragraphs in the feedbacks. I mean, if these were just like, good experience that I got my score, there would be just 1 or 2 lines. But you would see that all our students they are part of our family. The moment you enter in the class, you feel welcomed. And then you are in fact motivated to participate in the tasks. Sometimes when the writing week is going on, maybe because of work or maybe because of your studies or your tests, you are not drafting tasks. So we would motivate you. Now, it's been like 2 days, our writing week been going on, but you have not been writing. So how about this task? And if you could draft it and send it across, or we have our IELTS tutorials Telegram group as well, where we will be taking free sessions and you don't have to pay anything, but occasionally, but there is a limitation that not everyone's tasks are evaluated. So, but in the classroom, our classes are very, very interactive. You can ask as many questions as you like, and the tutors, that makes the difference. That in fact you are when it comes to the speaking section, our learners or students waiting that when the speaking week is going to start, because you have different perspectives on different questions. You pick up vocabulary from our team members, and you learn from each other. So it becomes a collective effort. So that's the good thing about IELTS tutorials, that we believe in collective effort. I mean, not everyone is expected from you, and all our learners as well. They wouldn't expect everything from the tutor as well. It's like shoulder to shoulder. You do your bit, tutor does their bit, and then the end result would be you would be getting your desired score in the very first attempt. I mean, this is a very expensive test. For the sake of paying, I mean, you can book it any point of time. But the main thing is that if you are going to appear for the test without any preparation, then you are going to see that you would have a certificate that telling you that you got a low score. We have had so many multiple incidents that students were performing very poorly in the reading section, but then it's not like a magic pill that you enter in the classroom and the reading score would go up. You need to do certain things, and we are very, very clear about this, what you have to do. That would be just practice from quality resource material. That's the first thing. If you go on the random websites, there are lots of material available, but we have the access to it. We would provide it to you. You don't need to look anywhere else. That's the first thing. Do not practice. If you are aiming for a higher band score, do not practice from random material that you get or random books that you get. Probably you think that this is going to benefit you, but it does more harm than helping you. So practice from quality resource, and we take care of it. So we would provide the material to you. That's the first thing sorted. After that would be all you need to do, join our classes. The welcome that you would feel, that each and every question type, each and every section, that the minute description or minute things, those are picked up. And when it comes to writing, we would be telling you straight away, okay, this is what the examiner is looking for. So why are we going to do something else which the examiner is not even interested in? So the first thing we would be telling you, that think from the perspective of the examiner. Suppose that examiner is having these band descriptors. This is what the examiner is looking for. So it's like giving you 4 boxes. Examiner is telling you, if you paint this box in the green, I would give you best score. If you paint the next box in the red, I would give you the highest score. Here at IELTS tutorials, we tell you that's the first thing, that think from the perspective of the examiner. Do this, and naturally you're going to do that. When it comes to the speaking one, we would never say something for the sake of saying that being a tutor, you need to come down heavily or criticize the student or bring down the confidence. We would never alter your natural way of speaking, because that's what your strength is. It's not about like overhauling the whole thought process. It's about that you are doing, this is the positive aspect. If you do this, it would be better. The support, the care, the kindness that you would get from our team, this is unmatchable. I can assure you that. And you can see it yourself when you go on the Google reviews or in the Telegram group, that the good words for our team, each tutor, you would have like passages or paragraphs written that how wonderful their experience been. That's the difference compared to, lots of websites are there, lots of YouTube channels are there, but most of those are clickbaits. What happens that they would give you that, band 9 done, easy. It's not easy. It's collective effort. You need to work shoulder to shoulder with the tutor, and of course, practice from quality resource material. We at the IELTS tutorials, we have taken care of everything. The moment you enter, everything is looked after. So the material, the PowerPoint presentations, the feedbacks, the interaction, the questions that are taken. I'm sure, as you can see in this one, that we picked up this task and we discussed that how it's going to be. Then we practice together, and we believe in honesty. Like, you need to know from the day one that what is your actual score. Even though we'd be having this, let's see how everyone does today. Suppose there are 20 students, maybe some students would be getting all answers right. They would be sharing that we today in the practice time, we attempted 20 questions. So you would have someone telling that I got 20 right, but then we got someone who got maybe 4 or 5 right too. But again, it doesn't mean that that person or that learner would be looked down, that, see, I mean, I told you something and then you didn't get it right, or your strategy is wrong. It's not that way. It's like assisting that learner, that it's okay to make mistakes. Don't worry about making mistakes. Mistakes are good. We learn from these things. So we are going to work on, maybe if when it comes to the reading one, that practice from quality resource material, underline the keywords. Any difficult word that you come across, you need to write it down on a notebook. And by the time you are going to attempt 4 or 5 tests, you would have 30, 40 words. Next time that word comes in the reading question, you are not going to struggle. So we have a strategy. If you are performing average, or if you're performing poorly, if you're not doing so well, there would always be something to help you. You would never be looked down that I gave you the strategy, now it's not working out, it's your fault. Most of the time, our tutors would agree that students would come in that I have enrolled for 4 weeks classes, and some would enroll for 8 weeks classes. That then the students would ask, I'm getting this good service from you all. Is it going to continue? Suppose my subscription is over. If I ask you something, are you going to answer that? Of course it would be, because our bond is just not till your subscription is active. It's like till you achieve your desired score in the first attempt. Most of the time you would hear, most of our students would agree that as well, that we would never say that book your test straight away. Have a word with consultant, have a word with your visa counselor or your university, that when do you need that score. Once you have a clear mindset that I would need this score after 2 months, so there is no point rushing in that I want to book this test now. Once I have tested, I would start practicing. You would pay and they would give you a test. There is no big deal in that, but you need to have good, right guidance. Then a hand that can take you through each and every section minutely. Each and every question can be explained. Especially many students would require attention in the reading and the writing one. And we are so proud, or in the speaking one, we are so proud of it that, these most difficult reading, writing, and speaking, our students would be performing. We would hear these success stories all the time. Like, just the other day, I had one learner from Kolkata, and he was actually, from a sound academic background, but he was really scared that I'm going to feel nervous in the speaking one. I am never going to get it right. And then I said, look at this. I mean, think from the perspective of the examiner. These are your band descriptors. You have practiced. You are incorporating idioms. I have provided all our tutors would provide that, the related idioms that you can incorporate. And we have told you that when to use idioms. That would be, you're going to speak with emotions. Whenever you are targeting happy moment, you would use happy idioms. Or whenever you are talking about something that made you upset, you would use those idioms. So think from the examiner's perspective. You are speaking fluently, you are speaking coherently, then your lexical resource, you're using idioms and good range of vocabulary, you're speaking grammatically correct, and your pronunciation is fine. So why you are going to get a low score? I have evaluated you, all our tutors would evaluate you in your respective classes. So what are your chances of getting a low score? And then he said, are you sure? Then he went for the test and got a really band 8. Like other day, we had band 9 in the speaking one, because as tutors, we would never alter your natural strengths. So we would never say something for the sake of saying that, this is your weakness. Now, this is your weakness. We would be saying that this is your strength. If you do this, it would be better. The moment you are into our classrooms, and not only this, our visa counseling team, it goes all the way. It runs from the top, from the management to from the tutors or each and every team member. It comes down to good, effective service that whenever you approach is the kind of advice that you would get, the kind of tips and strategies you would get, whether it's related to visa counseling. So today we have got our visa team with you as well. Maybe that you are applying for permanent residency or under skilled migration team, we would help you out with that too. So if you are interested, you can just let me know that I would like to know more about visa services, or I would like to join these classes. You are most welcome. I can assure you, you can write it in all capital letters. This is not a clickbait at all. This is like, if you are aiming for a highest possible band score in the first attempt, this is the place to be. Join our classes and you would never repent it. There could be two factors, that either that I would prepare from YouTube. There are lots of websites, lots of videos are there, why to join any classes. But there are two things. Most of the videos are clickbaits. I would not say each one of the audio is a video is a clickbait, but most of them, they would not be giving out everything. They'll be giving you parts of it, but the in-depth knowledge that you get in an actual classroom where a tutor is working on your strengths and weaknesses, is guiding you, that these could be the distractors. This is the question type, practicing together, identifying that your mistakes, that if you do this, this should be better. So it's shoulder to shoulder. This is unmatchable experience. And if you are aiming for like your target score in the first attempt, this is the place to be. There could be the good thing is that you are going to make a small investment. Any investment made towards your education is the best investment. And trust me, this is the amount and the quality that you get is just the best one in the market. And you can always recover this money once you are going to go there as a student, or if you're going to start work. You can recover this investment that you're making towards joining these classes, maybe in half hour, maybe in 1 hour basis, the moment you start working. So this money would come back to you. But this would be a difficulty if you attempt the test just on your own, without any preparation, just based on the YouTube videos or YouTube University, I would say. Maybe you are going to attempt it again, maybe 2 to 3 times. It's a very expensive test, and then you would have a low confidence too. So why not, in the first place, make a small investment, and this money would come back to you manifold. And all you need to do is just make wise decisions. So, or there could be that you are a working person, that I cannot dedicate the class time. The good thing is that all our classes are recorded. So even if you're a working person, you can access these classes at your convenience. After you come back from work, you can join all these classes. So IELTStutorials.online is our website, and I look forward to your presence. Some of you, I would interact Telegram as well. We are actually quite excited to have you all on board. So please do join, and let's see you in the classes. And we are going to work shoulder to shoulder, hand in hand, and we're going to achieve your desired scores in the first attempt. So it's going to be a collective effort, team effort, and we are, as a team, willing and hopeful that you'd join soon, and we would meet up, we'd be interacting. If you can opt for 4 weeks classes or 8 weeks classes, then we have our visa team here too. All you need to do is just let me know that I would like to inquire about what courses are available. I would like to know about how to go abroad. This is my first time. So we have our team. So the service that you would get, the feedbacks that you would get, the help that you would get is unmatchable. So any questions if you may have, we have our visa team here as well, who would assist you or would guide you with the follow-ups as well. So this is our website. Looking forward to your presence, and let's meet up. This is just the 1 hour. We'll be meeting up regularly. We'll be interacting. All your queries would be there, and regular feedback should be there. Very interactive sessions. These are not like typical classroom where you're expected to behave like a student or teacher. These are very friendly, just like our family. We would always call this IELTS Tutorials family platform. So look forward to your presence. I hope we had a productive session today, and it was wonderful to see you all joining, remaining present. And we have our visa team here as well. If you would like to ask any questions, please feel free to communicate. So we have got a giveaway for you, that we are going to provide you a questionnaire that you can attempt, and you can check your answers as well. So in your email, we're going to send a task please attempt it. This is related to map labeling. Please attempt it, and let's see how helpful was it. So please do check your emails. After that, we're going to send you a task, and this would be available to you. You can attempt it. I really appreciate that you joined. And now, if you have any questions related to your immigration, maybe you are interested in moving to Canada under skilled migration program. So, or if you are curious about your student visa queries or any course that you are interested in, so we have our team. All you need to do is just message me, or so feel free to ask any questions, or you can connect through IELTS Tutorials Telegram group as well. Okay, we have got students raising hands. Just a moment. Okay, Chintan, I have. Yes, would request you please unmute, Chintan.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for joining, Chintan. Yes, please go ahead.
Good morning, sir.
Morning, dear. Yes, please go ahead.
Sir, I have a question. I got overall 6 band and it's 6. So I want to apply in Canada for industrial safety course. So in which colleges I can apply? Is that possible in overall 6 band? Can I get a student visa for that?
We have got our migration team with us, and